Yeah, so what I said, I was like, can you create a what if scenario relating to One Piece? And it was like, here's a what if scenario for One Piece, blending twists and surprises. What if Nami had eaten the gum gum fruit instead of Luffy? And I was like,
Oh.
that cut me off. I was just like, no. Because it gets crazy. Nami the cat burglar becomes a stretchy, rubbery pirate captain, and I was already dying.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I got to cut this shit. And then what did I say? I was like, can you do another one which involves Shanks? What if Shanks had joined the Whitebeard Pirates alongside Ace? This is what I wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was like, I don't know if this is just AI piecing whatever info there is about One Piece out there.
Yeah.
And I feel like, okay, that wasn't right. It was just saying blah, 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 blah. It was trying to say what would happen to Marineford, Dressrosa, crap, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, can you give me 20 what if scenarios, but only the idea, not the explanation? And it came up with a whole bunch of them. Like the first one, what if Zoro never lost his eye, but gained a different powerful ability instead? Doesn't make sense. We don't even know what the fuck his eye does.
Yeah, exactly. So that would just be like just a buff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just giving him a power up without losing anything, I guess.
Yeah, so I got 20 of them. Some of them are pretty average, but I've shown you, I've got my select 6 I want us to discuss. And we have discussed, but not being recorded doing it. So what if Wano's isolation fell before Luffy's arrival, exposing the country's secrets and attracting attention from other powerful forces? So it's saying here, it gives us a little an about thing. So imagine if Kaido's isolationist rule crumbled before Luffy's arrival. Perhaps another Yonko attempted to invade, triggering internal rebellions or external interventions. This could expose Wano's advanced technology. Don't understand. Well, what is Wano's advanced technology it's trying to say here? You know what I mean? Like, do you have any ideas? Is it trying to say
Is that not just talking about like the ancient weapon?
Yeah, well, it does say here, powerful samurai, not very powerful for what we see. They're powerful, but cool.
Well, the 9 samurai, like Odin's subordinates, they were pretty
Oh
powerful.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
there.
they were strong, and there were a few on the side. I can't remember what they were called, but like the old fella. Yeah, he was pretty strong, especially back in his prime. He was quite strong.
True. Yeah, the ones which were in the prison.
Yeah.
Okay, and the secrets of ancient weapon Pluton. But like the thing with that, we only found out because of Odin's dad, and it was super tucked away. I don't think that would have been found out. And just also attracting a wave of pirates, marines, and other interested parties. This would force the Straw Hats to navigate a complex political landscape, forging alliances and facing unexpected enemies as they deal with the fallout of Wano's sudden exposure. Yeah, my thing, I don't know why this is one of the like things that Bard's tried to do. Like, because AI works as in trying to compile a bunch of things around the internet into one. So someone out there has said this before and has tried to piece it together, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So what do you reckon? What would happen if, well, before Luffy arrived, it's saying, what do you reckon would happen if it all crumbled? Someone else got there. Let's say Big Mom got there, and that Big Mom and Kaido aren't as tight as it is in the manga.
What do you think? Like they nearly had their battle as well when Big Mom got there. So you could think, as two big powerhouse characters as they are, like if they had a big, massive brawl against one another, what kind of damage they're going to do to their surroundings? So you think like they could have a big clash like what Aokiji and Akainu had, where it sort of affected absolutely everything around it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Well, when you think about it, like Luffy and Kaido had a massive clash, but it was only on that tiny little island, like in the air. But Aokiji and Akainu literally destroyed like
a whole island.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's just it hasn't been thought about by Oda, but I don't think it would destroy Wano. I think it would just be like a section. I don't know. I'm trying to think what else would be. interesting. But it's saying political landscape as well. Like, how would it be political? I don't see fucking Luffy trying to like have meetings with Kaido. Like, I don't know what it's trying to say there. What do you know? What it's trying to say?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. Forging alliances, which he already does.
Yeah. I mean, the political. What if it's like meaning like someone's gonna come and try and take over the city and all that? So try and take over, kick out Kaido, sort of kick out all the samurais, like whatever his name was, the guy sitting on the top, the Shogun.
Yeah. No, but he was already aligned with Kaido. I don't know. I know, but yeah, I just thought that was a little interesting one. But let's go to the second one. Okay, I think you'll like this one. What if Laugh Tale contained not treasure, but a message or technology capable of fundamentally changing the world order? I feel like we've talked about this before. This is definitely a possibility.
We've spoken before about maybe there being a message at the end, and that's why we know that Roger got there when he saw the One Piece. Like, first thing he did was laugh.
Yeah, well, can you talk about the fucking theory of Luffy and Nami going back in time, please?
Okay, so I don't think it's a huge theory, but from what we do know, from what I do know of this theory, it's that one way or another, Luffy's going to be sent back in time along with Nami. And when they do go back in time, that's when, say, Luffy's sort of going to play out things. He's sort of going to be like the Joy Boy back then. So Luffy's going to leave this message at Laugh Tale, sort of for Roger.
Yeah.
So it's a message directed to Roger. Roger's going to see it, laugh, go, oh, okay. So that's why he doesn't really do so much after he's sort of completed the Grand Line. Because he knows, Luffy's coming later on. Like, Luffy's left this message. He won. I'm leaving everything to him. So including that with Nami going back in time as well. That's why people theorize that she's sort of a princess back then, and then that's why every princess since looks just like Nami. Yeah, there's another little part of that.
Well, I've said to you, I think that could be a possibility. Look, it's a fucking terribly large theory, that one. But I think it could do with, what's Odin's wife's name? The one which has the time fruit?
She had a tricky name, yeah.
Whatever it is.
I'll find out.
We never see her die in that massive castle when Kaido just fucked it up or whatever. I forgot what happened. That was a while ago.
Yeah, so the castle got burnt down. We never saw her, physically die, but it's sort of just said that she is. Her name's Toki. Kozuki Toki. Yeah. So the theory with her is that she's come from the past. She came from the Void Century.
Yeah.
And she used the Devil Fruit to skip through time all the way up until she met Odin and thought, this is the time I got to be here.
Yeah, so what if she skipped a little bit ahead to where Luffy is? You know what I mean? It is a paradox, though. This whole theory is a paradox, because if Luffy goes back into the past and all of that, how is he going to be born in the future? Yeah, it's just... I thought it was interesting, but let's have a look at what Google Bard said. Yeah. So instead of material treasure, what if Laugh Tale housed a revolutionary message or technology? Maybe it reveals the true history of the Void Century, exposes the world government's ultimate motive, or even provides blueprints for advanced weapons capable of overthrowing the current power structure. This would shift the entire focus of the story for acquiring wealth to achieving a higher purpose, sparking ideological revolutions and forcing the Straw Hats to choose sides in a global struggle for freedom and knowledge. That's a lot of words. I've got to fucking breathe after that.
So if it was like another weapon there or something, is that what it's trying to say? So
or it's got even crazier weapons and rah 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 rah. But I know I still love, and I love the idea that it's about the journey. It's not about the fucking end.
Yeah, I don't think there's any chance of that. So we know, like Oda has said that the One Piece is going to be some sort of physical. There is something that is the One Piece. It's not so much a journey. It is something physical.
Yeah, well, it could be another ancient weapon. You know what I mean?
It could be, but I don't think an ancient weapon's going to make Roger laugh. I don't think that Roger's going to go, oh, haha, hilarious, some weapon that can destroy the world.
Well, what do you think it could be?
Nah, come on.
Put you on the spot? No, all good. Yeah, no idea. Just... Yeah,
like,
yeah.
For all we know, it could be treasure. It could be a whole bunch of gold, money, all sorts of things like that. It absolutely could be, and it could be just that something that Roger didn't want.
True.
Roger wasn't after actual treasure. He had everything he wanted. So he got there and he laughed because he's like, okay, I made all this journey for this. Don't care much for it.
What, he's just laughing at how ridiculous it is? Or
yeah, maybe. But yeah, I think a message or something, a little guide, maybe there's a poneglyph with like a, all the text sort of carved into it.
Yeah.
It sort of tells him something. He does have the voice of all things. Is that why he was able to read some of it? Or was that from...
It could be a poneglyph.
Yeah. It could definitely be a poneglyph. It could be about bloody the moon or something, right?
Yes.
It could be directed to the moon, and maybe he'd laugh because he's like, that's impossible. How do I get to the moon?
Yeah, well, with
Yeah.
Interesting. We'll come back to that. I want to talk more on that. But we'll go on to the next one. What if Smoker's pursuit of Luffy led him to uncover a conspiracy in the Marines, forcing him to choose between loyalty and justice? I'll read what it says as well. Imagine if Smoker's relentless pursuit of Luffy led to him to uncover a dark conspiracy within the Marines. Perhaps high-ranking officials are collaborating with pirates, orchestrating wars for personal gain, or hiding heinous crimes. This discovery throws Smoker's loyalty into question. Does he remain faithful to a corrupt institution, or follow his moral compass and become a whistleblower, potentially turning his own comrades and aligning with his former enemy Luffy to expose the truth? I feel like we've already seen this though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I think even back at like Arlong Park, I think there was the Marines there that sort of, obviously they were getting paid by Arlong to sort of just keep out of it. Let Arlong do his thing, run the East Blue.
Yeah, well, even with the whole crocodile thing, I think that Smoker was kind of starting to see how Luffy was actually a good guy. You remember when Luffy saved him? Was it Luffy? I forgot who did it. Fuck, that's
Zoro. Because
yes.
they were all underwater. Zoro had to swim down and grab him just because Luffy asked him to.
That's right. Luffy asked.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think. Well, have we seen if Smoker's joined? What's the? I'm bad with names. Sword, yes. Have we seen anything about that? Or?
Not off the top of my head. Well, I don't believe so, but we do have a computer right in front of us.
Yeah, well, I was watching. I'm trying to think. It was today's episode. We're recording this on Sundays. But yeah, I think we saw Membepo, whatever his fucking name is. Helmeppo, yeah. Crying to the vice admirals to go save I've forgotten his name again. Who's the little kid with Conquerors?
Kobe.
Yeah. This is disgusting. And Tashiki, is that her name?
Yeah, Tashigi, the swordsman that always played up with Smoker.
Yeah, she was there. And aren't all those guys a part of Sword?
Yes. So they're all a part of Sword, although nothing's been confirmed about Smoker just yet.
Yeah. But I'm assuming if Tashiki, whatever her name is there, it's going to be probably.
Definitely agree with that.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a nice little one. I was actually really surprised that Bard was coming up with stuff like this. I was expecting really like broken, like jumbled shit. But
yeah, well, I mean, you look at ChatGPT and you search up anything to do with theories and all that, it just sort of tells you, no, sorry, I don't know. I'm only limited to 2022.
Yeah, exactly. This one's a good one. I think you will like this. What if Dragon infiltrated Marineford during the war, leading to a clash of the revolutionary leader and the admirals? I'm not even going to read what it says. I just want to hear what you think would happen.
Oh, okay. What if Dragon infiltrated the Marineford War?
Yeah.
Well,
How do you
look,
think it would go?
we don't know anything about Dragon, so that just straight up just is a little bit
True.
difficult. However, we'd assume he'd come with his whole squad. He'd come with Sabo and all that. Whether Sabo sort of realizes Ace is his brother before the execution or anything like that.
Well, no, Sabo would know that Ace is up for execution.
Well, he'd know Ace is up, but he wouldn't know about him being his brother.
Why?
So when that came to mind with him was when he sort of, after he read the paper and saw Ace died, that's sort of when it clicked with him.
Yes, I forgot
so he wouldn't even know. So it's not even going to be like a personal thing for him. However, Dragon might know that Ace and Luffy were friends or brothers as kids.
Yeah, well, because Dragon picked him up. But why? That's interesting. I didn't even think of that. But yeah,
I mean, I don't even think Dragon knows that Luffy and Sabo were connected at all. I don't think he's got any idea about that.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was like, I wonder if Dragon picked him up because he was friends with Luffy. Because I'm still trying to think.
Dragon's just that good guy. He saw some kid. He saw a kid in trouble, about to die, about to get his ship sunk and drown, and Dragon just picked him up and saved him.
True.
Which also just to put quickly, when Sabo was sort of his ship was sinking, Dragon somehow managed to go and get him and bring him back. But I think he was like in the water. So it's just a bit curious to know, how did Dragon, if he has a devil fruit, get Sabo out of the water and get back to the ship?
Wow, I didn't even think of that. Well,
yeah, because it might have been someone who's back in the day. Shanks did the same thing with Luffy, but Shanks doesn't have a devil fruit. Is this sort of saying like maybe Dragon doesn't have one? But I think evidence shows he probably would. Everyone thinks he's got some sort of storm or wind or
but we only say that because of when Buggy nearly killed Luffy at, was it Logtown?
Yeah. The lightning hit and it was raining, and and then when
we got to remember
Smoker as well.
He's a revolutionary surrounded by people with devil fruits. Easily could have been someone else.
Could have been someone else. Absolutely.
So it could have been someone who saved Sabo.
At the same time with that though, we have seen sort of all the revolutionaries around Dragon. They've all shown their powers and what they can do and things like that. Like not all of them, but I think there's probably only a couple left that haven't. But whether they've really been around at those times, that we haven't seen.
Yeah. No, I don't know.
But Dragon being there, I feel like it would be almost the exact same thing as when Shanks rocked up. It's like, okay, now this other big, force has come along. We can't take on Whitebeard pirates as well as the revolutionaries. Let's just sort of call it off here.
Well,
then again, Shanks rocked up after the war was pretty much over and done with. So it was sort of, the Marines already lost all their, they lost numbers. They lost probably, thousands of soldiers. So they were willing to give up. They'd already defeated Ace, defeated Whitebeard. Blackbeard had already shown up and done his thing. So that's the only reason why Shanks was able to stop it. Whereas if Dragon showed up before the war, or just after Whitebeard rocked up or something like that, then it might be a different story. It might also be, I can see Dragon and Whitebeard maybe even teaming up.
Well, that's the thing. So what Bard said here, let's just go through some of it. There's actually some pretty good points of what would happen. So as Whitebeard charges Marineford, Dragon's revolutionary launch a surprise attack aiming to free Robin and destabilize the Marines. So I don't know why it's saying free Robin, because Robin's not even there.
No, Robin's definitely not. Oh, hang on, but then we go. Robin was sort of sent to where the revolutionaries were by Kuma. So she's with them. So it's sort of more like obviously they're not freeing Robin, but Robin would have been brought with, alongside the Revs.
Yeah,
I believe.
But I could definitely see a surprise attack.
Yes,
because they could definitely take down some admirals while that's happening. Also, Yeah, what it's saying here, Sengoku faces a three-way war forced to juggle Whitebeard's overwhelming strength, Blackbeard's I can't even say
Opportunistic.
it. That's it. Grabs of power and Dragon's revolutionary ideals. But I think you're right. I could see Whitebeard and Dragon, or Revolutionary and the Whitebeard Pirates and whoever's there as well, teaming up. I reckon they could have easily got Ace. Easily. But
Yeah, so
yeah,
at the same time, like Blackbeard only really came into it when Whitebeard was almost done with. He'd taken a lot of damage fighting Akanu. And obviously all the bullets and sword wounds he obtained, or he gained. He only did it after. Well, yeah. Yeah, he only really did that after Whitebeard had already sort of, taken the punishment.
Pussy.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Whereas,
I know what you're trying to say.
Like I don't know how like Dragon would have gone there with a different purpose. Like Whitebeard's there to save Ace and fight the Marines, whereas the Dragon and the Revs would have been there to, they are trying to do things from the shadows. They're trying to take out the leaders and all that without going into mass war, because I think they sort of lose in they don't have that firepower. They can't go out all scale war against the world government or the Marines. I think yeah, sure, you can have Dragon go on a 1v1 against someone. We don't even know if Dragon's a fighter, but say he goes in a 1v1 with Sengoku or something like that. That's Dragon tied down, right?
Yeah.
Now, does the rest of his, revolutionaries have that sort of combat capability to fight all the other Marines, like the admirals and things like that?
Well, I kind of think they could. Well, I don't.
We haven't really seen anything from them. Like you could talk about Sabo, like whether, he's quite strong. He clashed with Fujitora. They were pretty good. Like Fujitora, obviously an admiral. Like he's one of the strongest Marines. Sabo being second in command in the Revs, he has to be strong.
Yeah. Well, you would imagine that Dragon wouldn't just have a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, you got like the Fishman karate bloke. No idea what his name is, but he's up there. He just does Fishman karate. Like, I don't think he's as strong as Jinbei, but he's one of the top dogs in the Revs.
Yeah, well, we did see him at Dressrosa. Didn't he get smoked though?
Probably. Look, yeah. But at the same time, he taught like Koala knows Fishman karate.
Yeah,
I assume she knows Haki as well, but at the same time, like she's not this overpowering force either.
Well, that we know of.
There's also Ivankov.
She's kind of hype, or whatever they fuck it up.
Yeah, they're kind of hype. Pretty strong, but at the same time, again, no overpowering force. I can't see Ivankov fighting an admiral or anything like that.
Well, technically, now that we fucking say it, the Revs were there. You know what I mean? Like she was there, and the scissor there. Dude, whatever is
there.
Yeah. But yeah, like Dragon obviously wasn't there. I don't think that was like because they wanted to. That was more, there was some other stuff here. Ace's fate becomes even more uncertain, potentially rescued by Dragon's forces or used as a pawn in the chaos. I don't think Dragon would use Ace as like a pawn or a chip to like get what he wants. I feel like if Ace got free, the government would be like, "Oh, we'll give you blah 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 to like for Ace." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that sort of depending on, like I was sort of saying before, like does Dragon know that Ace and Luffy had that connection? If he didn't, if he didn't know that, then maybe he would use him as a pawn.
Yeah.
It's one bloke gone for a higher gain than that. He's trying to overthrow the world government. If Ace getting executed is like necessary, then sure.
Yeah.
Whereas at the same time, if he knows Ace and Luffy were brothers back in the day, then maybe he would just be like, "Nah, I gotta keep him alive for my boy."
I feel like surely he would. Like, especially how Garp had to look after Luffy and Ace. I'm sure Dragon would know that they were brothers. You know what I mean? Like, did we know if Garp was even speaking to Dragon? Like, was that a thing?
Oh, we have no idea.
Yeah,
I don't believe we know at all. Yeah, probably up until Dragon left the Marines, right?
Yeah,
Like, surely they were on okay terms.
yeah, probably. I can't wait to see whatever that is, man.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
Garp would know why Dragon left. He probably even understands it.
Mm,
But
mm.
obviously, you know, an old man, he's not just going to leave the Marines. He's got a nice, cushy job there.
Coward. Nah.
You could call him a coward. I think Dragon's definitely taken the, you know, the full force of it. He's sort of having to, you know, he left the Marines. He's going to go set up this whole army and try and overthrow the government somehow. Whereas Garp's more on the inside, trying to do it from there.
Yeah,
obviously
well,
with sword and all that.
Yeah,
if he's the one that's sort of, you know, taking charge of sword, I would love to see that. Although we've seen what happened in the manga, whether he's still kicking or not.
I think he is. I know you don't think he is.
No, I think he's gone. You know, he's lying there smiling. He's got bloody ice cubes in his chest. I think he's out.
I just don't think so, man. You've pointed out to me before that it wasn't where his heart was. Was that you? Was you saying that to me?
Yeah. So I don't have the image right in front of me. But yeah, it didn't look like he was in a. I don't know. I guess it was in a fatal spot, but do you really think he could have survived it as well? Like there's theories, Aokiji could have, you know, I've seen people talk about what if Aokiji, when he did that little ice spike through him, that's him blocking, you know, the blood. So he's no longer leaking blood. He's blocked it all up with the ice, and then so maybe that's keeping him alive a little bit longer.
Well, it looks pretty bad now that I'm looking at the panel again. It is on his left side where his heart would be. I don't know. I feel like Garp is Whitebeard's level, and we obviously saw Akanu just fuck Garp up in the middle of the chest. You know what I'm saying? Was it Akanu who did that?
No, Akanu. It was Aokiji.
Well,
so
no. I don't mean Aokiji killing Garp. I meant during Marineford.
Oh, Akanu and Whitebeard.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
I'm sure Garp could handle that going through his chest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but don't downplay Whitebeard like that, I guess.
What do you mean don't downplay Whitebeard?
Whitebeard took that like a boss, and I don't think just anyone can do that. You know, Whitebeard's 21 feet tall or something like that. Like he's a big boy, just taking one fist to the chest, that's nothing. I think Garp, you know, sure he's strong, I just don't see him being Whitebeard strength. In my personal opinion. I don't think he can take as much. I don't think he can take as much as Whitebeard.
But aren't they like around the same age? Whitebeard isn't in his prime. Garp isn't in his prime. Garp's one of the strongest Marines. Probably the strongest Marine, in my opinion.
In his prime? Yeah, potentially.
So you think he wouldn't pass as an admiral even at his age?
I don't think Garp, like old man Garp, I don't think old man Garp's admiral level.
Okay.
I mean, we saw him get beat by Aokiji. I mean, he did get shanked by bloody Shiryu, but
yeah,
you know, which is the other thing. Garp got shanked by Shiryu. That's why he was bleeding. That's why Aokiji aimed for that same spot with the ice. So that's sort of what that theory is, that maybe Aokiji saved him.
Okay. Yeah, because he was already had a fucking hole in his chest. Okay,
yeah. So the ice could be covering it all up. You know, maybe it's just, you know,
freezing it. I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor. And it's a fucking it's cool. All right, this is a good one. This is a fun little one. What if Sanji stayed on the Baratie? Let's go through some of them.
So he just didn't join the crew?
Yeah,
Luffy was just never see of him again.
Yeah, Luffy was just like, "Be my cook," or whatever he fucking said, and he was like, "Yeah, nah."
I mean, that did sort of happen, I think, and then you know, he sort of got talked into it. He saw what Luffy was willing to do for his crew and his friends and all that. But yeah, okay. Well, I don't know how we can really expand too much on this. It just means Sanji's not in the story, right? Yeah, well, there are some good points. So it looks at the dynamics and just like some cringe. Like, okay, let me read it. The Baratie becomes a legendary restaurant thanks to Sanji's unmatched culinary skills, attracting pirates and gourmets from across the sea, or whatever that means. Yeah, cool.
The Straw Hats lose their chef and emotional cornerstone, forcing them to rely on Zoro's hunting skills and Nami's resourcefulness for food.
Yeah, who would be cooking if it wasn't Sanji? Or
I
do they just try and like eat out as much as they can, or maybe they start stealing food?
Yeah, well, that's what
That
it's
might
saying.
cause
Nami's
some more battles in the future. You know, they're hunting like other people's food, like just stealing people's dinner or something. You know?
Didn't Zoro fucking like destroy something? Was it at the island with the giants? When they just
so Zoro and Sanji were having a competition to see who can bring in the biggest fish, I guess.
Yes, that's it. I'm sure that'd be fine. But let's have another look. Taking more. Yeah, so this would change the crew's dynamics, with Zoro taking on a more prominent leadership role and Nami's resourcefulness becoming even more crucial. Isn't Zoro like, Bard, come on, I don't understand what it's trying to say here. Zoro's already the second. You know what I mean? Is it trying to say that Sanji was the second? Like he had more power than Zoro?
I think it's just confused in that sense, yeah. I think everyone sort of says, yeah, Zoro's the right-hand man, you know, second in charge. I don't think anyone would say that Sanji's over that. I don't think Sanji tries to be either.
Well, okay, so say they don't have Sanji. Who do you reckon would be the other, like, next Straw Hat? It doesn't have to be a chef or a cook or anything like that. Who do you reckon would be the next best fit from all the people they've met?
To have replaced Sanji's spot on the crew.
Yeah, so let's say
Sanji
to be
was like Vivi or something, right?
Yeah, but she doesn't bring anything to the table besides royalty. You know what I mean?
She brings politics. She can set up bargains. You know, they get to the next island and you know things going down, and she's like, "Nah, hold up, let me strike a deal with you."
Like that's gonna matter. Luffy does not give a fuck what anyone thinks. He's gonna do what he wants anyway. Yeah. And they've all come to terms with that. But
yeah, we'll just set up a trade route or something like that. You know,
a trade route. Yeah, cool. All right. This is a good one. I like this one. This is the next one. What if Buggy was hiding a deeper purpose, secretly manipulating events from the shadows? Maybe we've spoken about him being a celestial dragon.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to hear what you think. Do you reckon that's a possibility? He's like putting on a bit of a facade.
You know I mean, he gets pretty messed up for him to be putting up a facade. I think. But like, I don't know. I think him being a celestial dragon, sure, like that is potential. Maybe he doesn't know he is. Maybe he, you know, when he was found, we don't know when he was found by Roger, and when he, like, we know he joined at the same time as Shanks. We don't know how he got to that situation though. Now, him being a celestial dragon, sure, he could be. There's another theory that he's also maybe the son of Rocks, which is another reason why Roger would be happy to have him on board the crew. I think because obviously he's got that connection. He might have that potential to become as powerful as Rocks was.
But we haven't seen anything about how Rocks and Roger were like friends. You know what I mean? Were they? Like, I don't think we've seen anything yet.
No, I don't think they were friends at all. No, I think just Roger might just respect the power of Rocks. And obviously, you know, Buggy would have been a kid. It's same when Roger found Shanks. Like, Buggy's the same age. I think if Roger found Buggy in need, he'd be willing to take him on board.
Yeah, interesting. Well, let's just see what Bard has said here. I haven't even looked over this. This is fresh. So imagine Buggy, the clown pirate, secretly pulling strings from behind the shadows. He uses his connections, charisma, and luck especially luck, to orchestrate
back in East Blue, sure. Like, I just don't think he's doing that. Like, him getting all those thousands of people from Impel Down joining his crew, it's all just luck. Like, that's all it is. He's not orchestrating anything. I don't believe.
Well, we can look at, like, I forgot the name. I'm so bad with names. One of the samurai who was putting on that massive, like, he was doing like a play for the Shogun. What's his name again? You know, the guy like had the painting thing.
Oh yes.
Let's look this up.
Yeah, so I cannot think.
It's alright. It's a while ago.
It's like Shojuro or something.
Oh fuck!
Sanjuro.
Conjuro? Is that how you say it?
Kanjuro.
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Hold on, let me have a look. Samurai. It's not even coming up. Maybe because he wasn't a samurai, he was just a piece of shit. Oh, Kanjuro. That's gonna piss a lot of people off. We don't know. But you know what I'm saying? He could just be putting on this like, oh, I'm an idiot. I have no idea what I'm doing. But he's actually. That's why he's not like. He comes across that he's lucky, but he's actually piecing this all together to get his own way. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting because he's a bit of a loser, old Buggy, and
I think
he might
everything
know.
just falls in place for him. He's just, you know, one of those gag characters. It's sort of like Usopp, his lies coming true. Like it's just sort of, it just happens by accident. He doesn't mean to do it. It just, you know, everything just falls in place.
Yeah, well, this is Bard here. This is a good little point. His past with Roger and Shanks could hold hidden secrets, giving him insight into the One Piece and the world government's motives. So he's probably actually well versed in what like everything's about. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. So I kind of agree with that. So we know that Shanks and Buggy didn't go and see the One Piece because I think Buggy was sick and Shanks didn't. Shanks stayed behind to sort of look after him. But obviously, they were reconnected afterwards. So Roger and his crew came back from the One Piece, picked up Shanks and Buggy again. Obviously, they could have had those talks. They could have been paper written, like, you know, they could have been talking about. Obviously, Odin was writing about everything.
Yeah.
You know, surely he could have shared everything, shared his notes and things like that.
Yeah, well, I think as well, like he's not just like some like shit pirate. Like if he has been with Roger the whole time, he's done 2 tours, let's say, didn't he, of the world? Like he's not a shit pirate.
So the Roger Pirates did do it twice.
Yeah, so I feel like he knows what he's doing, but it may come across that he's just an idiot. But he's actually, I don't know.
Now,
Just
there's one thing I think about as well is that there are a few characters in One Piece that it's sort of like back in the day they were, you know, top dog pirates, but then in current era they're sort of a bit lazy. They sort of don't seem as strong as they were back in the day. Which, for example, Crocodile. How was Luffy able to defeat Crocodile back in Alabasta? Not easily, but Luffy at that point was nowhere near as strong as he was at, say, the time skip. Yeah. Right, and so after that, the next time we hear of Crocodile, he's bloody with Cross Guild, right? And his bounty skyrocketed to over 2 billion, I think.
Well, do we remember what it was? Like, what was his bounty before? Like, do we remember?
I don't think he even had one. I think because he was a warlord and had been for so long.
Oh, yes.
But what I'm saying is, I think, you know, he went to Alabasta and he was taking over everything from behind the scenes with this casino and stuff. He was sort of just ruling the country. I think because he was just doing that sort of stuff, he wasn't out there in combat and all that he sort of got weaker, if that makes sense. It's like similar to Moria. And he was able to fight Kaido back in his prime, and then nowadays he's just this big slob of a dude. Like, he just seems depressed and he's just got his zombie friends around. Like, that's all he's got. Whereas back in the day, he was good, but he just spent, you know, decades just doing nothing. You know, that's just one thing I think of.
It's interesting. I never thought of it that way.
So maybe Buggy was just in the East Blue this whole time, just doing nothing. And like, sure, he was pulling the strings around East Blue, all that sort of stuff, but he was still afraid of Arlong. We know Arlong wasn't very tough, but, you know, I can't see Buggy being this, you know, genius clown that's just sort of been pulling the strings the entire time and is behind like every event, like, you know, Marineford and things like that. I don't think he orchestrated anything and Impel Down. Everything just fell in place for him. It's just a comedic gag for him.
Yeah, true.